Now we will discuss the details of Hyperledger architecture and how it is a pluggable conference depending on your needs. To begin running the blockchain over the Hyperledger fabric, we need to set up a development environment. First, we need to install curl, Docker, Docker Compose, Python, Node.js, and npm. So, let us start with the installation of curl, and we will show you the commands which you need to run for setting it up. To set up curl, you need to run the command sudo apt-get install curl over Ubuntu. If we go back to my server, you can see I've already installed curl here, and I will just run the curl command. One of the great features of curl is that you can see the complete manual of curl. As you can see, curl is installed, and now we have the complete manual to run different things on top of curl. Next, you also need to install Docker and Docker Compose for running a Fabric application, because mostly Fabric peers are provided with Docker and Docker Compose. If you are working on Windows 10, then you require Docker version 17.06. For older versions of Windows, you can take the Docker toolbox, which will provide you with both Docker Compose and Docker. We have already installed Docker with this machine. Now if I go here and run Docker version, you can see I already have the 18.03 version for it, which is the latest version. I've installed my Docker Compose as well. Therefore, when I run my Docker Compose, it clearly states that it's version 1.2.1. You can actually follow the Docker guidelines shared on the Docker website, and it will give you the details on how to install the CE version, which is a community edition version, hence completely free. You can use that to install Docker and Docker Compose. After you have installed the above commands, now you need to install Go programming language to work with Hyperledger components. In Hyperledger, the components are written with Node.js and Go, similar to chain code. Therefore, we will install both the programming languages. We have already installed Go language on this machine. You can install it using the curl, or you can also install it using the following command. You need to ensure that you have the environment variable set up for Go programming language. You also need to install the npm and Node.js. However, to run the Hyperledger components, you need to have a version which is greater than 8.9. You can directly use the sudo apt-get to install the npm and Node.js. After you have installed these, you can also check the version by running node-v and npm-v. Now you can see we have version 10.5.0, and if we run the command npm-v, then we have version 6.1.0. So this brings us to our final step, where we've installed all the commands. You can follow this document and all the available steps in the documents. Plus, you will also need to install Python, and currently Python, which is used for Hyperledger, is Python version 2.7.0. You also need to ensure that you have the same version 2.7.0 of Python. Mostly the Ubuntu machines and Linux machines come with Python pre-installed, so you might not even have to install Python. Now, if you are working with Windows, you also need to install the Windows build tools, which are like npm packages. You can simply go to their npm packages website and install them. These are all the libraries and programming languages that are required to run Hyperledger components. You can follow this document to install all the prerequisites required. Thank you. If you have any queries, email us on hello@blockchain-council.org, and we will get back to you at the earliest.